Well, good afternoon, hockey fans, and welcome to Hauppauge, Long Island, New York, for an exhibition tilt between the visiting New York City Raiders and hosts, the Rinx. The Raiders coming in this game with a 2-2 record on the heels of a rivalry exhibition loss to North Park Hockey Club by a score of 6-2. So far, all of the Raiders' games have been exhibitions, allowing Coach Coffey to experiment with forward combinations and defensive pairings. The Raiders have also shown some offensive firepower, beating the Aviator Hockey Club by a score of 9-1 last Saturday. Today, the Raiders will look to get back into the win column against an always strong Rinx team. The Rinx won their first league game 6-1 against the Peconic Wildcats last Saturday. The Rinx have also won their first two exhibition games by a combined score of 12-2. The Rinx Bantam team finished in second place last year in the LIAHL, compiling a record of 13-4-1 with a plus 79 goal differential. As such, with the Raiders' revamped lineup, there should be some good hockey on display today. So sit back, relax, and get ready to watch the Raiders square off against the Rinx in this battle on Long Island, right here on Midnight Sports. One programming note for you, tune back in to Midnight Sports tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern when the Raiders take on the Long Island Kings from World Ice Arena in the Raiders' first league game of the season. In the meantime, keep it right here. The teams are about to come out for warm-ups. We'll have 3 minutes put on the clock as they shoot some pucks toward their own goal, hopefully for the last time this evening. Until then, keep it right here. Well, folks, if you're just tuning in and missed the intro, the too long didn't read version is the Rinx are good. They're always good, and they'll be good again this year. They come into this game 3-0, having scored 6 in each of their games on average and only giving up 1.7 goals. You can say, what's 0.7 goals? I don't know. I'm not a math major. In any event, the Raiders come into this game even 500. 4 hard-fought games with a plus goal differential in total, and they'll look to get back in the win column today after dropping a tough one to North Park Hockey Club last weekend. We're out here in Hauppauge, Long Island. Because we're out in Long Island and ice time's a little easier to come by, you get an extended warm-up today for the Raiders as they take on the Rinx. Still over 3 minutes on the warm-up clock, now down to 2. It'll be Ryan Speaker to start in goal today. No word yet on the starting forwards and defensemen yet. But again, a reminder, tune in tomorrow as the Raiders have their first league game of the season when they take on Island Kings from World Ice Arena in Flushing Meadows, New York.
Drop my levels a little bit. That's not much I can do. Somehow the background usually doesn't.
Well, the teams are getting some last-minute instruction here at their nets and at their bench. Raiders crowded around their own net, getting a pep talk. And the Rinx around their own bench getting some last-minute instruction from their coaches. The Raiders break first. An apparent intimidation tactic to let the Rinx know they're ready to play this game. Rinx now break from their bench. Both teams will send 5 skaters out to center ice. Looks like it'll be the Berliner, Bizarro, and Meyerowicz forward line. And the Steinfink Hyder defensive pairing to start this game. Referee checks the goalies. Goalies ready, scorekeeper ready. We've got puck drop period 1. Raiders win that forward. Meyerowicz fires in at the point, sends it up to Berliner. Berliner has it at the near dot. Berliner sends it down deeper to the end boards. Pizarro now at the end boards. Cycles it over to Berliner, looking for Meyerowicz. No room to pass. Now the Rinks are all over it. Meyerowicz loses a stick but makes the pass. Pizarro cycles it back to Berliner. Rinks fighting for it now at their own end boards, trying to get this out, but only make it so far as Meyerowicz, and Berliner takes over again at the end boards. Berliner has the puck. He's harassed by one man and then two. Berliner goes around that man, and the puck comes all the way up to Hyder at the point. Hyder on the backhand sends the puck down in farther, but the Rinks do come away with it, and they're able to get that puck out of the zone. Now the break is on. Steinfink back to cover. Steinfink doesn't let his man dangle him, but the puck does come to the dot, and a shot and a score. Pass right to the far dot, and that's an instant goal for the Rinks. Puck right at the far dot, sat there, wrist shot over Speaker's shoulder, and it's Rinks 1, Raiders nothing. Still period 1, still plenty of time for the Raiders to get that one back. New line out there for the forwards. It'll be Marchuka, Petrosinelli, and Samosi. Rinks win that face-off forward, but only so far as the offensive zone as the Raiders look to take over. The Rinks dump that farther in. It's now at the far corner. Raiders fighting to get it back. They do. Samosi skates onto the puck, tries to go around his man in the neutral zone, and the Rinks come and take it back from him. Puck sits in the neutral zone for a while until Fauci covers. He's got the puck in the defensive end. Puck now pumped up through the neutral zone by the Raiders and taken by the Rinks. Raiders have it back at their own blue line. Tanoff now pushes the puck up to Marchuka. Marchuka breaks into the zone. He's on the forehand. Back check takes the puck off his stick and comes over to Petrosinelli at the near dot. Petrosinelli tries to cycle it around. He does. He finds Samosi behind the cage, and Samosi tries to send that up to the slot. Instead, the puck bounces off the back of the cage, and it looks like the Rinks try to break out now, unable to do so as Tanoff takes over in the neutral zone. Tanoff now has the puck. He crosses the red line, dumps that in. Raiders will get a change out of this. Vigliotti now in as the forechecking forward. He's got Berliner and Koslewski with him. Berliner picks off a pass, sends it over to Jackson Kalemba. Kalemba breaks in, puck then rolls to Koslewski. Now Berliner has it in the slot, still has the puck, tries to fire one on goal, doesn't get through. He gets a second shot at it, kick save by the Rinks goalie, and now the puck's chopped out of the offensive zone, hits the lineman, and sits in the neutral zone. Raiders go point to point. Koslewski now has the puck. He sends it over to Berliner in the high slot. Now the mid slot. Puck comes off his stick only so far as Hyder. Hyder hits his own man on the fire in. Puck still gets where he wants it to go. Puck in the far corner. Now at the end boards. Raiders trying to take over control there. Raiders still working hard. Jackson Kalemba is. Puck now comes up to the far point and out. The Rinks are able to break out. They've got a 2-on-1 developing. Koslewski covers very well with the long stick. Takes the puck off his man. The puck rolls through the crease area. No harm, no foul. Now Koslewski breaks out the other way. Sends that up to Berliner in the neutral zone. The puck rolls off his stick. And now Vigliotti takes over. Dumps it farther into the offensive zone, and the Rinks take over. Raiders are switching. There's a 2-on-1 developing. Raiders cover. They send a shot in on Speaker. He's able to save that to the side. Puck still, though, in front of the cage. Now Speaker has it. Still sitting right there in front of the cage. The Rinks try and set another shot on. Unable to do so. Blocked in front. Raiders look to take over. Instead, the Rinks circle with it in the near corner. Puck comes out on Speaker. Speaker makes one point-blank save. Puck rolls to the slot. Now rolls in on him, and he's able to dive with a glove and cover that up. Well, it'll be a defensive zone face-off here for the Raiders. To Speaker's left. After that bang-bang play right in front of the cage. Looks like it'll be the Marchuka line out there, except this time it's with Meyerowicz and Pizarro. Steinfink will go off the ice momentarily. Looks like the Raiders were all filled up on 5 skaters. Rinks win that to the high slot and out to the near point. Marchuka is able to take it off his man in the neutral zone. Pizarro goes with speed through the neutral zone, taking off his stick in the offensive zone. Puck stays in the offensive zone. Now Meyerowicz has it on the forehand. He tries to send that down to Pizarro. Gets to the end boards. The Raiders will have to recover. They do. Matthew Fauci with it at the point. Tries to dump the puck in deeper. Instead hits his skate. Now there's a breakaway. Breakaway the other way by the Rinks. They're in on Speaker. Speaker makes the save with the shoulder there. Puck comes back in, hits the back of the cage, and the Raiders recover. They've got numbers back now. Puck still sits at the end boards, and we get a stoppage in play here. Looks like we're going to get a stop for an open rink door at the end boards. Your You're watching this game on Midnight Sports, your solution to the problem of having to show up. Midnight Sports. All right, another defensive zone draw after the door is fixed at the end boards. Nobody got hurt. Raiders lead in. Marchuka wins that to the far corner. Puck now comes around the end boards. Meyerowicz fires in at the near half wall, try and take it off his man. Rinx are able to keep it in the zone. Now Marchuka cycles with the puck, sends it weak side, hits the back of the cage, and the Rinx try and pick it up, but only so far as Bizarro. Bizarro now looks to skate this puck out. He's able to do so, loses possession over the Rinx, and the Rinx pour through the neutral zone to collect the puck in their defensive zone. Rinx still with the puck in the neutral zone, but being harassed there by the Raiders. Rinx send that weak side, but only Bizarro's there. And he's got two helpers in his defensive zone. He'll send it back down to Fauci. Fauci looks to go point to point. Instead, tries to send it up the boards. It's kicked aside once, but makes it out of the zone. Puck still in the neutral zone. So the Rinx try and fire that back in. They're unable to feather it past Marchuka. And now is the puck caught between his leg pads. Bizarro fires on his man. He takes his man off the puck, at least momentarily. Now a second time. Puck still sits in the neutral zone, and now the Rinx come through with speed. They're in the neutral zone on the forehand. Tanoff does not get dangled by his man and instead turns the other way. He finds Meyerowicz in the neutral zone, who dumps in for a line change. Berliner now in on the forecheck. It's 1 against 4, but he's able to slow down his man long enough for Samosi to come get the puck and dump that in deeper. Raiders now in the offensive zone. They're able to keep it there. Berliner at the far half wall. Berliner on the forehand dumps that puck in deeper, only so far as his man in the far corner. Samosi comes up with the puck, though. He's got it back to Hyder at the point. Shot comes in, glove save there, and the puck's melted down. We'll get a stoppage in play with just under 10 minutes left to go here in the first period. It's Rinx 1, Raiders nothing. Offensive zone draw here for Sam Berliner. Looks to win this over to Samosi. He's got Petrosinelli behind him. He wins that back to the point instead. Puck then fired in by Kishlevsky. Hits a man in front. Hyder keeps the zone. Kishlevsky now in the low slot. He's got the puck. Back check nicely there by the Rinx. Unable to pull the trigger, and the Rinx get that puck out of the zone after 2 tries. It's going to come all the way in on Speaker, who's able to just glove that and freeze it down as the first man in was a Rinx forward. It'll be a defensive zone draw here for the Raiders after the Rinx softly dumped that puck in, and it ended up being on target. Berliner leans over the near dot here. Tries to win on the forehand. Instead, it comes over the Rinx. Save made by Speaker. Puck was loose. Covered nicely by Silas Gosler there. Gosler pumps that up to the far point. Not out of the zone yet. Gosler goes to try and recover the puck again. He's able to take his man off the puck. Berliner now skates out. He's got Petrosinelli streaking through the neutral zone. Petro's able to stay onside. Still a partial 2-on-1 here. Berliner unable to corral the rolling puck, though, and then taken off the puck, by his man. With a hard body check. Steinfink now to recover in the defensive zone as the puck rolls through the neutral zone. He's got it on his forehand. He's going to circle his own net here and look for a pass up to the half wall. He finds it. Bigliotti has the puck come off his stick. Now all alone in the slot. It's a shot and a score. That's a Rinx goal there. All alone in front of the net. Able to go 5-hole on Speaker, and that's going to be Rinx 2. Raiders nothing. 8:50 left to go here in the first period. Now the Raiders had some good push there, getting 2 shots on goal in the last few minutes. And it shows you just how quick a game this is, that it can break the other way. The shooter can end up right in front of goal all alone. Now Marchuka now leans over at center ice. He's got Bigliotti and Columba out there as the forward lines with him. Tanoff and Fauci, the defensive pairing. Fauci takes that puck off the faceoff, works it up to Marchuka, kicks it to himself. The puck comes off his stick. Now the Rinx come the other way in a partial 3-on-2. Fauci turns and recovers the puck. He's in the defensive zone. He's going to round his own net. Has no reverse there, so he pushes it up to the half wall. Columba works that puck up to the blue line, and the Rinx just have to dump it back in. Now Tanoff fires that puck up to Bigliotti. Bigliotti tracks it down in the neutral zone and enters the defensive zone, but not in possession. Rinx come the other way. They're at their own blue line, and they're streaking through the neutral zone now. Raiders have numbers back, so the Rinx just have to dump that in. Heavy hit by Bigliotti. Judged to be legal there, and his man is slow to get up. Rinx still have it at the end boards. They look for a pass up front. Instead, find someone in the very high slot who tries a redirect in on Speaker, and they find it. Unmarked at the near post there. Puck comes in. Caught Speaker's leg pad, but not enough of it as it finds the back of the goal, and that's Rinx 3, Raiders nothing. Just over 8 minutes to go here in the first period. And we're going to get a Raiders bench timeout as the Rinx have jumped to an early 3-goal lead, which will give us time to check in with one of our sponsors. Youth Hockey on Midnight Sports is brought to you by College. Hockey fans, as the kids get older, their problems, expenses, and worries grow. Little kids, little problems. Big kids, big problems, right? Well, what if I told you there was a solution to all your worries? No more overflowing laundry baskets or looking at a bathroom and wondering why there's a plate with half-eaten toast and a full glass of orange juice on the sink. That's right, hockey fans, it's College. For the low, low price of $65,000 a year, you can export all of your problems to some far-flung locale. That loud mumble rap and sound of slamming doors is now your issue, University of Who Cares. Offered only valid at participating colleges. 4-year commitment required. Price does not include room and board. College! We charge as much as we do because we can. Well, timeout's over. Still a little extra tutelage from the bench there for the Raiders. The Rinx are ready to roll. Halfway through this first period, scorer says they have 9 shots on goal to the Raiders 2. The only numbers that matter are Rinx 3, Raiders nothing. 8:02 left here in the first. Berliner leans over the face-off dot, wins that over to Pizarro. Pizarro works that over to Hyder. Hyder tries to pump that up through the neutral zone, gummed up there though at the wall, right in front of the Raiders bench. Rinx dump in, but not before they're offside. And we'll get a quick stoppage in play here. Just under 8 minutes to go now. As Coach Coffey leaves that same line out there, they only had about 7 seconds of ice time. It's Pizarro, Meyerowicz, and Berliner as the forwards. It's Steinfink and Hyder as a defensive pairing. Berliner wins that all the way over to the weak side. No one there. Meyerowicz picks up. Meyerowicz banks that up through the neutral zone. Rinx take over, and now they fire in. Puck rolling into the zone. Steinfink picks it up. Goes behind his own net here. 1 step and then 2, and he's able to find Meyerowicz briefly in the defensive zone. Now the puck's loose in the defensive zone. The Rinx pick it up. They try and send something in on speaker. A nice block there by Berliner keeps that puck from reaching the net. Berliner now with the puck on his stick. He feathers one up to Meyerowicz through the neutral zone, just a bit too far as the Rinx pick it up there. Rinx now with the puck in the neutral zone. They come up the near boards, but not before Steinfink picks up the puck. He's going to send that around to the weak side, and Hyder will pick it up there. Hyder on the forehand, looks to find a man streaking through the neutral zone. Meyerowicz picks it up off his man. He's in on a partial break. Meyerowicz on the forehand, misses just wide of the net. Pizarro picks up the rebound, looks to send that over weak side to Berliner. Berliner tracks down that puck, sends it in deeper. Takes his own pass in the near corner here as the Rinx are able to take him out of the play. The Rinx just send that out of the zone, and Gossler there in the neutral zone to pick up the puck. Gossler tries to dump in. Instead, it hits a Rinx man, and now there's a break the other way, but Nate Krzyzewski there to cover, take his man off the puck, and the Raiders try and send it the other way. Now Pizarro in the mid-slot. Pizarro looks to work in. Back check takes him off the puck. Now Meyerowicz gets a second shot at it. The Rinx goalie equal to the task at the top of the crease there. They will freeze that shot. With 6:31 left to go here in the first period. Now, good push there by the Raiders. A break, and then a shot from the mid-slot shows that they're heating. Danny Coffey's words. Raiders win that face-off forward. Puck rolls a bit on them. They still have possession, though, in the offensive zone. Comes up to the point. Fauci just dumps that in deeper. Handcuffed with nowhere to go. Marchuka now with the puck. Marchuka cycles that around. Picked up there by Finkelstein. Finkelstein rubbed out of the play with a heavy check, and now the Rinx are able to break the other way. They're through the neutral zone, but no farther after Petrosinelli finds his man. Picked up by another Rinx man. Back checked heavily there by Marchuka. Marchuka takes his man off the puck. Fauci cleans up the rolling puck, and the Raiders try and break out of their zone. Unable to do so as the Rinx now have it in the slot. The Rinx at the near dot look to send something in on speaker. Instead, they hit a Raiders player in the back. That's Tanoff, who is able to block that shot. The Raiders are able to work it out of their zone and picked up there by Finkelstein. Finkelstein still in the neutral zone. Marchuka waits in the slot. Marchuka now with the puck, harassed by 2 men, has to curl around. Rinx are able to push that puck out of the zone after the curl. There's just too many men on Marchuka there. Rinx have the puck at their own blue line. They pump that through the neutral zone, but no farther as Hyder cuts out the first pass. Rinx have to recoil in their own zone. Hyder in on the forecheck now. He's able to run that puck all the way to the end boards, and the Rinx will have to cycle there, except there are Raiders in the way. Puck still in the offensive zone for the Raiders. Shlevsky tries to pump that puck in deeper. He does. Now Hyder fires in on the near side. On the backhand, he dumps that in and then works his way back to the point. Marchuka with a heavy hit on his man. And there are just a lot of rinks there at the end boards. They're able to take over control of the puck. Rinks still skating. Raiders changing while they have the offensive zone. Petrosinelli now in the offensive zone. Tries to curl onto his forehand. Finds Gosler at the mid-blue line, who sends a shot in. Doesn't reach the goal. Now Marchuka with the puck on his forehand. Marchuka still sends a puck in. Petrosinelli there for the one-timer. Saved nicely by the Rinks goaltender. Rolling puck there. Rinks have it, and they're able to bank that out of the zone. Nice push there by the Raiders. Good vision, too, on the pass to Petrosinelli. Raiders send that over toward the bench area and pick it up and send it out into the neutral zone. Rinks now have the puck. They're in their own defensive end. They go point to point as they make a change. Rinks still going point to point. Pump that up, but only so far as Gosler. Gosler now with the puck at the blue line. Pours in on the forehand. Sends a shot in on the Rinks goalie. There was a rebound there, but no support for the Raiders as they had made a change. Now the Rinks try and come the other way. Cut out nicely by Vigliotti. Sends the puck in deeper. Vigliotti now on the forecheck. Kalemba forechecking his own man in the far corner. Kalemba all over his man. Vigliotti gets the puck, tries to send it to the slot. The Rinks are there, though, and they're able to skate the other way. Rinks still skating the other way now with speed. Rinks have the puck, looking into the slot. They send something in on net. They're not on target, though. It goes wide of the cage, and the Raiders try and break out. Unable to do so at first, but now they get the puck past the blue line, does Vigliotti. Kalemba tracks back. Puck comes all the way to Gosler. Gosler now has it on the forehand. He's got some time behind his own net as the Raiders look to set up. He reverses over to Steinfink. Steinfink takes over on the forehand. Steinfink in his own zone still on the forehand, can keep skating. He does. Puck comes off him eventually, but Kalemba picks it up. Now Vigliotti has the puck. Puck deflected off his stick, though, into the penalty box. Goes the puck, and we'll get a stoppage in play here with 3:11 left to go in the first period. Well, again, a good push there by the Raiders. See them spend a good amount of time in the offensive zone. Aggressive forecheck has kept the puck down at that end for the last minute or two. Berliner now leans over. Face off just outside the offensive blue line. Rinks come away with it. Have it momentarily in the neutral zone until Berliner tracks back and collects. Raiders couldn't stay onside there, though. Too much traffic at the blue line, and we'll get another stoppage in play here. Just 10 seconds after the last. It's Meyerowicz, Berliner, and Bizarro as the forwards. Fauci and Tanoff as the defensive pairing. Berliner leans over the dot. Wins it on the backhand, back to Fauci. Bouncing puck hawks over his stick. He's going to have to clean up in the defensive zone. He's taken off the puck there. Now the Rinks come in. They shoot a shot wide of the goal, and they'll have to collect at the far half wall. Berliner there to pick up the pieces and try and send that out of the zone. Instead, the Rinks come away with it. The puck's now at the end boards for the Raiders. Tanoff tracks back to send that up to the point. Bizarro now to help too. He curls, uses the boards to get that out, and Berliner in on the forecheck. Meyerowicz on the near wing, trying to cut out that pass. He does. They force a bad pass. Puck comes up to Berliner. Berliner streaks into the offensive zone. He's got Bizarro in the slot. Still on the forehand. Sends it over to Bizarro. That's a pass and a score. That is a Raiders goal. The Raiders score on a wonderful pass there from Berliner to Bizarro. There we go. A little slow on the Raiders goal horn, but it all counts the same. That's Rinks 3, Raiders 1, 2:21 left to go here in the first period. All that push by the Raiders, you'll love to see it rewarded in a goal. Ensuing faceoff, Gosler takes the puck up to the neutral zone and dumps in. Raiders aren't done with this game yet. Petrosinelli now in a forecheck. Backhanded puck lifted up and out of the zone. Steinfink tracks back. Rinks beat him to it. Now the Rinks come through. They're all the way in the offensive zone. They try and send a bad angle pass in. They make it through the crease, but not in on goal, and the puck rolls wide. Now Marchuka has the puck on his stick. Comes over to Petrosinelli. Petrosinelli has a 2-on-2 developing. Petrosinelli has the puck roll off his stick momentarily, and then blocked up into the goaltender. A wonderful save there by the Rinks goaltender. It was Petrosinelli and Finkelstein streaking on both sides of the slot there. The Rinks goaltender was able to stand tall and prevent that from going in net. Now Petrosinelli leans over at the far dot. He wins that puck over to Marchuka. Marchuka sends it up to the point. Shot blocked coming in. Finkelstein now tries to send it into the crease area. It's cut out there by the Rinks, and they're going to skate this out of their zone. They dump that puck on a self-pass in a little deeper, and they take over in the offensive zone to the Rinx. The Rinx looking for a pass to the slot. Instead, cut out nicely there by Marchuka on the backhand. Petrosinelli on the forecheck. He has that puck at the blue line, but they can't get it out of the zone momentarily. Now the Raiders are able to push that through the neutral zone into the offensive zone without possession. Marchuka in on the forecheck. Rinx send that puck up, but only so far as Finkelstein. Finkelstein has the puck. He finds his man Marchuka in the slot. Marchuka stick handling around one man on the backhand, sends that shot just wide on the lifted backhand. Impressive shot, just misses the cage. The Rinx try and collect at their own end boards. Instead, Marchuka gets there first, nobody home for the Raiders, and now the Rinx will be able to get this out of their zone using the boards. 2-on-1 developing if the Raiders don't get back. Now it's turned into a partial break. Rinx in, they hit Speaker right in the face. Rebound bounces, Rinx can't get their stick on it. Speaker kicks that shot out, and now Marchuka has the puck. He sends it up to the blue line, but not out. Puck comes in, it's blocked there by the Raiders, and the Raiders now should have some time to get this out of the zone. They do. Petrosinelli gets this puck out of the zone. He skates to the neutral zone, trying to get it on his forehand and slide. He does. Laser of a shot. Gloved there, though, by the Rinx goaltender. Clock continues to run as no pressure put on the Rinx goaltender, so we get no whistle. Only a stoppage in play when the goalie freezes the puck if there's an opposing player in the area. Rinx come the other way. Instead, cut out momentarily by Tanoff. Now the puck's dumped into the Raiders zone. Vigliotti with the puck on his stick. Under a minute to go now. In fact, 18 seconds left to go. The Rinx pour back in. They're in the offensive zone on the forehand. They send something in on Speaker. He gloves that down to the ice. Fauci now picks up the puck in the far defensive corner. Fauci looks to skate it out. He sends that up to Samosi. Samosi has the puck on his stick. 4 seconds left to go here in the first period in what's turned into a wild game. The Raiders try and generate something in the offensive zone there, but they run out of time. After one, it's Rinx 3, Raiders 1. Stick around for period 2's puck drop. Coming up next. Well, period 2 coming up right now. We're going to put 15 minutes right back on the board. It's shots 11 for the Rinx, shots 9 for the Raiders. The Raiders really had a wonderful 3 or 4 minutes there to close out the period. And they definitely closed that goal gap down to 2. Now it's the period of the long change. Let's see how the Raiders roll out here. Try and close that gap even more. Looks like it'll be Fauci out there. It's one of the defensive pairs, and of course Tanoff as his partner. Berliner, Bizarro, Meyerowicz line out there and ready to roll. Berliner wins that puck back to Fauci. Fauci takes it over his blue line, feathers that up to Meyerowicz, who sends it up to Berliner. Berliner dumps it in farther. Bizarro now fires in on the right wing, looking for the puck. Tries to take over at the near half wall. Rinx circle on him. 2 men in him for support on him. Pizarro's able to work that up to Tanoff. He sends a shot in. 1 deflection, and then 2. 1 nice save there by the Rinx goaltender. Keeps that puck out. Pizarro now has the puck at the end boards. Pizarro tries to get past his man. Tripped up there, and the Rinx are going to be able to break out. They break the other way. The Rinx do. Tanoff on his man is able to gum up that play in the neutral zone long enough for the Raiders to get back. Rinx still with possession, but they dump it in. Fauci now with the puck. He tries a diagonal pass up to Pizarro. Pizarro lifts the stick of his man and turns to run after it, but the Rinx cover nicely in the defensive end and send that back up to the neutral zone. Raiders wait to clear the offensive zone. They do. Pizarro now with the puck right back in the offensive zone. Looks for a pass rink wide over to Fauci, who is sneaking down the left wing. Instead, the Rinx are able to cut that out after it hits a skate, and the Raiders will track back to cover. Pizarro now with the puck in the defensive end. Pizarro goes behind his own net. He reverses there over to Tanoff. Tanoff with the puck on the forehand. Looks for a diagonal pass up through the neutral zone. Can't hit that home run pass. Icing wave, though, as the Rinx player was close enough to it. Meyerowicz tries to track down the puck. He does. He's got the puck in his feet, and he's able to send that puck over to Bizarro. Just leave it there at the far dot. Does Meyerowicz. Puck comes over to the Raiders. They can't quite get a forehand on it. The puck rolls all the way out of the zone, and now the Rinx have a partial break. Steinfink back to try and take the puck off his man. A wonderful defensive play there by Nate Steinfink. Keeps that puck from the Raiders' net. Now the Raiders pour in the offensive end. Shot comes in by Marchuka from the point, and it's gloved down by the Rinx goaltender. We'll get a stoppage in play with 13:16 left to go, and we can pause for station identification. Well, actually, this face-off's going to come up too fast for station identification, but you know what you're watching. It's Midnight Sports. Petrosinelli leans over at the near dot. Tries to send it up to the point. Instead, the Rinx are able to slap that out of the zone, and Petrosinelli will have to recover there. Sends it through the neutral zone. The Rinx take over in their own end. Raiders now swarming, trying to get the puck in deeper. They do. Raiders are in the offensive zone, and Marchuka now comes in on the forecheck at the near half wall. Rinx are able to skate this out, though, and they're looking for that neutral zone pass themselves. They skate all the way through the neutral zone to the Rinx. They're on the forehand, and then they dump it at the point. Puck comes in, bouncing puck right in on goal, and Speaker there, only momentarily as that puck rolls through the crease. His gloves lifted, and the Rinx score. That's a Rinx goal with 12:41 left to go here in the second period. It's Rinx 4, Raiders 1. Well, if you're a Raiders fan, the only silver lining is last time the Rinx scored, Raiders push back immediately. Bigliotti in on the faceoff. Bigliotti wins it over to Columba. Columba now has the puck on his forehand. He drops that to the point. Bigliotti pushes it down farther. Nice slot pass just behind Samosi, though. Unable to corral it, and the Rinx come the other way. It's a 3-on-2 the other way. Hyder and Koshlewski are back. The Rinx dump that in. Koshlewski turns and takes the puck onto his stick and is able to pump that up past the blue line. The Rinx will have to recover in the neutral zone there. Puck rolls all the way in the defensive end for the Rinx, and they will clean up there at their own blue line. Puck comes off a stick, though, and Bigliotti pours in. We've got a high stick. We should get a whistle here as soon as the Raiders touch it. No penalty, just a stoppage in play with the high stick. And now we can pause for station identification. This is Midnight Sports. Amateur hockey with professional camera work and amateur jokes. Midnight Sports. Well, we're going to get an offensive zone draw here. Bigliotti over the near dot. He's got Fauci and Tanoff behind him. Bigliotti wins that forward, but the Rinx take over. Samosi goes to the half wall to collect the puck. Instead, Tanoff comes away with it. He's got it at the dot, but he's handcuffed there, so he can only dump it deeper. The Rinx now skate the puck out of their own end. They're coming the neutral zone through with some speed. A little self-pass there by the Rinx player. Sees Fauci turn and try and collect it at the end boards. He and the Rinx player get there at the same time. He's able to take the Rinx player out of the play. Now he has the puck on his forehand, but a stick in the way. Can't get it any farther than the far corner. Now the Rinx skate. They look for that slot pass again. Puck comes in on Speaker. He's able to save it once, and then the puck rolls to the corner after some nifty stick work by his defenseman. Columba now takes over. He's got Bigliotti in a 2-on-1. Bigliotti stays onside, looks to get the puck back. He does, but a stick gets in his way, and he's unable to get that shot in on goal. Puck now at the point for Steinfink. Steinfink dumps it deeper, hits one man, sends it over to Columba. Columba looks for the pass to Bigliotti. High shot goes over the cage by Bigliotti, and Columba goes to collect. Puck rolls all the way through the point, and Gossler recovers. Gossler sends that puck up off the boards and in deeper. It looks like maybe it hit somebody on the bench there, and we'll get a stoppage in play. Well, the Berliner, Meyerowicz, and Pizarro line comes over the boards. Steinfink and Gossler still out as a defensive pairing. Puck drop, won by the Raiders. Can't push it any farther, though, as the Rinx do gain possession and come away with it only so far as Steinfink in the defensive end. Steinfink feathers a pass up to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz tries to send it farther. Puck gets caught on his stick, though, and the Rinx come the other way. Gossler takes the puck off his man with a nice forecheck, and now it's Pizarro and Meyerowicz pouring the other way through the offensive zone. Pizarro has the puck roll off his stick. The Rinx just pump that out of the zone, and Gossler will recover in the neutral zone and now in his own end. Gossler on the forehand. Sends a puck diagonally up through the neutral zone. Rinx take over there, but not out of the zone. So Meyerowicz tries to send one in. High puck goes over the cage there after a deflection, and Pizarro picks it up. Berliner calling for it in low slot. Goalie now without a stick. Hyder pinches in, to keep that puck in the zone. Meyerowicz also tries to do the same. Instead, the puck does roll out of the zone. Nice stick lift there by Hyder, but the Rinx come away with it. Rinx now with 2-on-1. Easy slot pass there. Not so easy when you've got a man draped all over you. Raiders with a nice back check. Take the puck off there, men. And they come the other way. Bizarro now through the neutral zone, down the right wing. Bizarro still skating the puck in deeper, looking around his man. He's on the backhand. He's unable to get out of that play as he's taken out by a sliding defender. No call for any trip there, as Bizarro played it straight and kept his skates. So now the Raiders look to get the puck back in the neutral zone. Now we do get a whistle, though. We have a Raiders player down in the corner. Well, that's Meyerowicz down in the corner. Slow to get up, but he is skating off under his own power here. Unclear what happened in that obstructed view corner down there, whether that was the same play. The sliding defenseman came over. Either way, we do get a penalty call on that. The Raiders will go on the power play, down 3 goals, but up a man. 9:41 left to go here in the second period as Petrosinelli leans over at the far dot. He wins that faceoff. Finkelstein sends it up to the point. Shot comes in, legged aside there by the Rinx goalie. Raiders dump that in deeper. They try and recover at the far half wall. Puck comes over to Finkelstein. He's got the puck on his forehand. He sends that over to Marchuka in the slot. Bouncing puck, though, rolls off his stick, and the Rinx break the other way. Rinx now through the neutral zone, and they dump that puck in the offensive zone. Raiders will have to recover on the power play. Puck comes to first to Koslewski, then to Finkelstein. Raiders are able to pump that puck up to the blue line, but no farther yet. Rinx curl and try and dump it in deeper. They're happy to just kill this penalty, are they? And Hyder comes away with the puck. He's got the puck on his forehand. He's got plenty of time in his own zone. He sends that up to Finkelstein, and Finkelstein has that puck roll off his stick. Now the Raiders try and pump it farther. Instead, the Rinx have possession in their own end, and the puck comes all the way down the other way, and Hyder will have to recover in his own defensive end. He'll go point to point here with Koslewski. Koslewski now has the puck on his forehand, and he's able to skate it forward. Bank pass up to Marchuka. Marchuka tries to gain the zone, but the puck's cut out there, and now the Rinx dump that puck all the way in. That should be an icing, and it is, with still 57 seconds left to go on the power play, and just over 8.5 minutes left to go in the second period. It's Rinx 4, Raiders 1. It'll be an offensive zone draw for the Raiders as Vigliotti's going to be over the near dot. He's got Fauci and Tanoff behind him, Kalemba and Samosi flanking him. Vigliotti looks to win that forward on the forehand. Puck's pushed back to the point. Now bouncing puck comes over to Tanoff at the far point. Tanoff banks that in farther. Vigliotti looks to get it on the forehand. Instead, he sends it up to the point after the puck rolls on him. Tanoff sends that in deeper. Vigliotti crawls for it. Samosi calls for it. Samosi in the far corner has the puck come toward the net, but he can't corral it before the Rinx get to him. Instead, he sends it up to the point. Puck comes off Tanoff's skate. He's able to keep the zone. He sends a long shot in through the slot. Now the puck comes to Kalemba. Instead, Samosi takes over. Tanoff again in the slot. High puck comes up. Vigliotti brings it down. He's behind the net. He tries to jam one in at the near post. Instead, he's ridden off the puck after that shot. Samosi now sends the puck up to the point. Nobody home as Tanoff was creeping in for a nice one-timer, and the Raiders will have to recover in the neutral zone. Raiders still have the puck in the neutral zone. Now Kalemba comes back in with possession. He's got Vigliotti in the slot. Kalemba sends one in, looking for the pass rebound. Instead, he's taken out of the play, and the Rinx are able to pump that up only so far as the blue line. Now Tanoff curling with the puck at the blue line. He sends a forehand in. Rolling puck there. Comes over. Rebound. That's a score. That's a Raiders goal on the rebound. The Raiders score there, and it looks like it was Jackson Kalemba who was able to put the Tanoff curl shot rebound right in, and that's Raiders 2, Rinx 4. With 7:24 left to go here in the second period. The Raiders are right back in this game on that power play goal by Kalemba. Well, the ensuing faceoff's going to have Berliner lean over the dot. He's got Bizarro and Meyerowicz out there with him. Good to see Jake back up and skating well. Rinx pouring to the offensive end. Gosler lifts the stick of his man. Puck comes up, and the shot goes wide of Speaker. Now Berliner with the puck. Berliner has it. He skates it out of his own end. He's down the right wing. He finds Bizarro, and Bizarro tucks that puck in deeper the offensive zone. He takes his man out of the play, and he's got 3 Rinx men all over him. Somebody's open for the Raiders, and that somebody is Gosler at the near point. He sends a shot in, and now Bizarro has the puck, and Bizarro scores. Bizarro scores on the Gosler rebound. That's another Raiders goal. All of a sudden, we've got a hockey game on our hands here. It's Raiders 3, Rinx 4 in the second period. Goals scored just 20 seconds apart. There's now just over 7 minutes left to go here in the second period. And the Raiders are right back in this game. Berliner again at the dot. Wins that face-off back to Gosler. Gosler has the puck. He sends that up to the neutral zone. Pizarro chops it farther, but only so far as the offensive blue line. He's now taken out of the play as the Rinx rise to the task here and get a little more physical. Berliner in for support. He pumps that puck in deeper to the offensive zone. It's at the half wall and now back up to the offensive point. Gosler then jams that puck in farther. There's a man open in front of the net. It's Meyerowicz. Puck bounces on him, and now the Rinx will skate the other way. The Rinx still with possession of the puck, only so far as Gosler's recovery, though. Rinx have the puck in the neutral zone. They try to get in the offensive zone, and the Raiders are all over it. The Rinx send a high shot in, hits the top of the glass, and Gosler goes to recover in the far corner. Rinx still with the puck, pumping that puck in deeper, but the Raiders come away with it. Puck comes to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz looks for Pizarro on the home run pass, just out of his grasp, and we'll get a icing there and a stoppage in play. And we can visit with one of our sponsors. Youth Hockey on Midnight Sports is made possible by Pumpkin Spice. Hockey fans, sure, you've heard of pumpkin spice lattes and pumpkin spice donuts. But now that it's October, have you tried the newest products rolling off the pumpkin spice assembly line? Why not add some pumpkin spice to your pizza and make it extra spooky? And why waste your time with pumpkin spice beer when you can mix up some pumpkin spice whiskey? Just listen to what our best reviews have said about these combinations. Why would you do that? Ugh, this tastes like a crime against humanity. You belong in The Hague. Pumpkin spice. It's not just for mediocre lattes anymore. Well, ensuing face-off sees the Raiders get that puck out of their zone, but only briefly, as we'll get a penalty call on Petrosinelli. He'll go to the box for 2 minutes here for interference in the neutral zone, and it'll be a defensive zone draw for the Raiders. Down a man and a goal. Raiders will have to stand tall on this penalty kill. Just under 6 minutes left to go here in the second period. Marchuka leans in. Marchuka is able to win that face-off. Finkelstein takes over. He's going to skate this puck out of the zone himself. Puck taken off him, but he pours in farther on the forecheck. Now Finkelstein with possession of the puck. He's got 3 Rinx men around him. Not much support. Puck rolls up on the Rinx goalie and stays wide. Oh, that would have been a fluke goal if you've ever seen one. Gosler able to keep the puck in at the point. Now the Rinx looking for that home run diagonal pass through the neutral zone. Instead, they wait for support to the Rinx. Rinx still outside the offensive zone. Now they come in. But the Raiders take it off their stick immediately. Marchuka has the puck, tries to send that deep in the offensive zone. Rinx cut that puck out there, but they send it wide. No icing here as Gosler goes to track down the puck. Ooh, we do get a late icing call to the Raiders on the penalty kill. Still 1:23 left to go on this penalty kill for the Raiders, but they do get the benefit of a generous icing call there, as Silas Gosler took a great angle on that puck to make sure it went all the way to the end boards, but it didn't look like he was slow skating it. A veteran play there from Gosler. Now the Raiders lean over at the offensive dot, looking to kill more of this penalty. Puck comes up to Tanoff. Tanoff at the point, looking for a deflection off Kalemba's stick. Rinx are able to recover it at the half wall and then the end boards, and they're going to break out of the zone here as the Raiders slink back to try and kill more of this penalty. Samosi takes his man out of the play and recovers the puck in the neutral zone. Now Samosi skating with the puck in the neutral zone. He's got it on the forehand. He gets that puck in deep. Still 1 minute left to go here on the penalty kill for the Raiders. Rinx take over. They send that puck out to the far half wall and look to break out. But they only make it so far as the Raiders stick at the blue line and then in the neutral zone. Tanoff recovers in the neutral zone, sends that puck up. Icing should be waived here as it was touched by the Rinx in the defensive end. Rinx take over possession in their own end. They go point to point and look to get this puck up and through the neutral zone. Rinx now recoiling. Raiders jumping on that puck anytime it hits a Rinx stick on the pass in the neutral zone. In any event, the Rinx do come into the offensive end, but only so far as the near dot, and Tanoff again able to cut that up. Samosi pushes that puck up farther. Now Kalemba breaks in the offensive zone. He's all alone on the penalty kill here, as by design, but he's able to kill more time in the offensive end. Raiders staying back at the blue line. Vigliotti now does fire in on the pinch, but the Raiders are able to get back and make a change. Remember, this is a second period penalty kill, so it's a period of long change anyway. Vigliotti now with the puck at the neutral zone, pushed over to Tanoff. Tanoff now sends it up to Vigliotti, who's able to send that puck in deeper on a diagonal pass. Tanoff again has that puck in the neutral zone. Just offside, though, are the Raiders. as Vigliotti was trying to clear the zone, and Tanoff had to do something with the puck with that aggressive forecheck from the Rinx in the neutral zone. Well, good news for the Raiders. They're back to 5-on-5 skating here as they successfully killed that penalty. Just under 4 minutes left to go here as the Raiders win that face-off just outside the offensive blue line. They fire that in after gaining center ice. Rinx take over in their own end. They circle their own net, look for a pass up. Aggressive forecheck by Berliner, sees the puck come over to Pizarro. Pizarro now again has the puck at the half wall. He's at the far dot, looking to get something in on goal. Instead, Rinx come away with the puck momentarily. Now it comes to Berliner in the slot. Ooh, a no-look backhand pass over to Pizarro. Sees him handcuffed, though, unable to get the shot off. He takes a heavy hit at the end boards, and now Meyerowicz does the same. Puck comes up to Fauci at the point. Fauci unable to get that puck off his stick immediately, but he is able to fire it in deeper, and now the Raiders will have to recover possession. Fauci still at the point, looking to send something in on the Rinx. Instead, back check sees the Rinx skate away with it. They're through the neutral zone. They're looking to send something long in on Speaker. Instead, they dump it in, and now they go to recover. The old dump and chase model sees the Rinx come away with possession only momentarily. Meyerowicz has the puck. He kicks it to himself. He's through the neutral zone with speed. He's got Pizarro down the right wing, tries to dangle his man, and his man's able to chop that out of the zone all the way through the neutral zone, but a bouncing, rolling puck won't hit the end line. Hyder picks it up now. He's on his backhand. He skates this puck out of his zone, across the blue line. He's still got possession of the puck. He's got Pizarro on the right wing. He tries to get it on the forehand. He's still on the backhand. He sends it over the slot, and the Rinx know what's going on, and so they're able to chop that the other way. Berliner now covering for his defensive pairings. Berliner fighting hard at the near half wall. Rinx come away with it. They try and send a pass through the slot. Bounces over a man's stick in the slot. No harm, no foul for the Raiders. Now the Raiders try and pick it up in their own end. Unable to do so. Rinx still have the puck. Rinx have it at the near half wall, looking toward the point. They leave it there and then send it in deeper. Raiders will have to fire in to pick that puck up. Instead, the Rinx get there first. Raiders are tired out there on this line as they've been out there for over a minute. Raiders still fighting hard to try and get this puck out. Berliner goes down to block the pass. He's able to do so. Now Pizarro has the puck. He skates it out of his end. He's going to be able to get this puck all the way in the offensive zone, but not much farther than the blue line. Rinx will take over there. Rinx still with the puck. Now they have it in their defensive end. They go behind their own net. Pizarro with an aggressive forecheck sees the Raiders able to make a change. Petrosinelli out there now. He's able to get that puck all the way over to Steinfink, who's Steinfink taken out of the play. No call there. The Rinx pick it up behind their own net. They cycle that puck around, and the Raiders are able to keep that puck in the zone by Marchuka. Nice play there by Luke Marchuka to keep the puck in the zone, and Petrosinelli fires in on the forecheck. Rinx still have it, but they're not able to get it out of the zone. Gossler now keeps it in at the near point. Gossler backhands it a little farther, and the Rinx just fire it past the blue line to try and get some clearance here. Steinfink picks up in his own defensive zone. Steinfink sends a diagonal pass up, looking for Marchuka. Rinx are able to cut that out. We're now just under a minute to play here in the second period. Raiders have the puck in the neutral zone, but not for long as the Rinx come back the other way. They send it weak side. They've gained the blue line, but they can't get past Finkelstein. Finkelstein has the puck, sends a pass up to his teammate, but the Rinx come away with it. Now looking in the slot. A wonderful stick there by Silas Gossler. Sees that pass not connect in the slot. Rinx still with possession, though. Still looking in the slot. They've got plenty of players in there, but they miss the net there, or they hit Speaker's pads. Hard to tell from up here, but Petrosinelli's able to skate the puck through the neutral zone. Petrosinelli through the neutral zone, and he has to dump the puck off there as the Raiders wanted to recover. Now the Rinx come the other way, but they're offside there. Might have a too many men on the ice penalty here on the Rinx. Looks like it. Looks like the Rinx will be going to the sin bin for having 6 skaters on the ice as well as their goalie on that break. We'll get an offensive zone draw here for the Raiders with 18.6 seconds left to go in the second period. It's Raiders 3, Rinx 4. It'll be Vigliotti, Samosi, and Columba as the forward line. Tanoff and Hyder as the defensive pairing. Vigliotti leans over, tries to win that over to Columba. Instead, Samosi comes away with it. The puck comes to the point, and Hyder keeps it in the zone. Now the puck comes over to Samosi. Samosi on the forehand, looks for a deflection there from Vigliotti. Puck gets past everyone and hits the end boards. Now Samosi fires in. Puck comes all the way over to Tanoff at the half wall. Tanoff able to keep momentarily. Vigliotti tries to get the puck in deeper. Hits a few skates there, and we'll get the end of the period. At the end of 2, it's going to be Rinx 4, Raiders 3. Stick around for period 3 right after this. Well, period 3 is coming up just momentarily, but we do have a chance to check in with one of our sponsors in the meantime. Youth Hockey on Midnight Sports is sponsored by Rude Dinner Companions. Hockey fans, is there anything more fun than going out to dinner? Well, how about going out to dinner with a work colleague or a family member that has no manners? You know who I'm talking about. Someone who can't bring themselves to say thank you to the waitstaff or sends their food back several times because it's missing some small garnish. There's nothing quite like having to apologize quietly for everything and everyone at your table, or catching yourself from reminding an adult to say please. Rude Dinner Companions. They may get the check, but you'll definitely have to get the tip. Now puck drop in period 3. Puck comes in on speaker. He's able to stick that aside. No harm, no foul there for the Raiders. And the Raiders will skate that out. Ooh, a long pass connects to Pizarro. He's in all alone on the goalie. Tries to move once, twice. Wonderful save there by the Rinx goaltender. Keeps that puck out. Still 1:23 left to go here on the power play for the Raiders. Pizarro now tries to lift that over to the stick. The blocker of the Rinx goalie. But we're going to get a penalty call here on the Rinx for tripping, it looks like. Well, the Raiders are going to have a 5-on-3 coming up here for at most a minute and 15 seconds. After that tripping call, when Pizarro was in all alone on the Rinx goaltender for his rebound. A wonderful save there by the Rinx goaltender. Keeps this a one-goal game for now. It's going to be Berliner, Meyerowicz, Pizarro, Marchuka out with Tanoff. Raiders win that face-off, but a point-to-point pass doesn't connect. And now the Rinx come the other way on the 5-on-3. It's a breakaway. Speaker's able to save it there, and the puck rolls to the end boards. Now the Raiders break out the other way. They look for that long pass. They again connect to Pizarro. It's a 3-on-1. Only one Rinx man back. Puck comes over to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz tries to get that puck on goal. Another wonderful save there by the Rinx goaltender. The puck sits in the crease momentarily, but the Rinx are able to get it out. Now the Raiders pour it back in. Meyerowicz tries to pick up at the near corner. He looks for a man in the slot. Puck comes to Berliner. Berliner has it on the backhand. Just feathers something down to Meyerowicz. Puck now comes over to Pizarro. Pizarro looking for someone at the point. He's got somebody at the point. It's Tanoff, who gets handcuffed with the puck, and now the Raiders will have to get out of the zone. Puck still sits there, and now the Rinx come the other way. The Rinx with a breakaway again. In on Speaker. They try and get around Speaker. Speaker's able to shut that down, and we get another stoppage in play there. With still 26 seconds left to go on this 5-on-3. It'll be a defensive zone draw there after the Raiders shut down that breakaway. Well, this face-off will come to Speaker's left. The Rinx win that. They're at the high slot, and they just dump that in deeper. Happy to kill more time on this 5-on-3 are the Rinx, but now Finkelstein comes the other way with the puck. He leaves that for Petrosinelli. Petrosinelli through the neutral zone with some speed. He's on the forehand, looking to send something in. He sends it low on the goalie. The goalie's able to just freeze it there. Raiders shooting it low, looking for a rebound. That's how they've scored several of their goals today. The Rinx goalie able to keep that close to the pads and jump on it before any Raiders got close. Still 10 seconds left to go here on the 5-on-3. Raiders need a goal. They're down 1. Face-off 1 to the far corner and all the way out. That puck hops over a stick, and now Gossler tracks back. He's got Hyder to go point to point. Sends it all the way around his boards, and Hyder goes to pick up. It's 5-on-4 hockey now for 44 seconds unless the Raiders score. Raiders have the puck in their own end. Hyder sends that puck all the way up to Finkelstein. Finkelstein with the puck. He gains the blue line. He's still in the forehand. He's at the far dot looking for a slot pass in Kalemba. Cut out by the Rinx. Now Hyder pinches in. He sends a bad angle shot in. Rebound there, though, as the Raiders look to turn that. Unable to get a shot on goal. And Petrosinelli sends it up to the point. Now Hyder at the point. Heavy slap shot in. Saved nicely there by the Rinx goaltender, but still loose, and he's able to jump on it is the Rinx goaltender with another wonderful save in traffic. He's able to keep this a one-goal game with just under 13 minutes left to go here in the third period and 14 seconds left to go on the Raiders power play. Offensive zone draw here is Samosi. Bigliotti are out there. Marchuka to take this draw at the far dot. Fauci and Tanoff as the defensive pairing. Marchuka out. Marchuka wins that on the backhand. Samosi tries to send that up the boards. Instead, it's cut out by the Rinx, and Fauci will recover in his own end. Fauci corrals that rolling puck. Sends a pass up into the neutral zone to keep the Rinx from putting anything in on his own net. Rinx go point to point. Now they break out the other way. They have the diagonal pass through the neutral zone and look to dump something in. Instead, Tanoff in the way. He goes to recover the puck that he blocked. Rinx all over him. Now three men in for support. The Rinx are cycling down low. Bigliotti fires in to try and get the puck. Rinx get that puck up to the point. Look for a deflection in on Speaker. Puck never reaches him, and then he guides it wide of the cage. Fauci now reverses over to Tanoff. Tanoff goes to collect. His stick's lifted by the Rinx man, and the Rinx are able to just send a hard pass to the near corner here. Fauci now fires in. He takes his man out of the play. The Raiders look to come out with it. Instead, comes up to the Rinx point man at the near point. Long shot in on Speaker. He's able to get to that puck first, and Tanoff defends his goalie as the Rinx man swipes at Speaker's glove. Now we'll get a stoppage in play here with 11:51 left to go, and it gives us time to pause for station identification. You're watching this game on Midnight Sports. Give us a like, follow, or subscription. Lunch may not be free, but we are Midnight Sports. Ensuing faceoff. Raiders win that forward, but not out of the zone. Puck comes in on Speaker. He's able to stop it there. Now the puck goes right through the crease. He had it stopped momentarily, but the puck trickled on him, and it comes loose, and the Rinx are there to clean up the rebound. That's Rinx 5, Raiders 3. Still over 11 minutes left to go in this game. Raiders are still in it, but they've got to get one back, and they've got to get one back soon. Gosser now with the puck. Bumps that puck up through the neutral zone into the offensive zone, and the Rinx come away with possession. Meyerowicz now fires in, on the pinch from the blue line. Bizarro now with the puck in the far corner, looking for Meyerowicz in the slot. Meyerowicz back to his forward roll. Berliner sends that puck over to Bizarro. Bizarro tries to corral it at the end boards. Instead, the Rinx get there first. Steinfink now has the puck in the offensive point. Sends it over to Gosler in the middle of the blue line. Gosler fires in. He's on the forehand. Sends that glove side, and the Rinx goalie is able to stop that puck. And we get another stoppage in play after that Raiders shot. Still over 11 minutes to go. 11-11 to be exact. An offensive zone draw coming up here for the Raiders. It'll still be the Berliner, Meyerowicz, Bizarro line out there. Steinfink and Gosler as a defensive pairing. Berliner now leans over the near dot. Puck one to the near corner, but the Rinx come away with it, and they reverse that puck all the way to the other side of the offensive zone. Steinfink's able to keep the zone only momentarily, though, as a diagonal pass from the Rinx comes through the neutral zone, and Gosler will clean up for his defensive partner. Reverses over to Steinfink. Steinfink now with the puck. He goes forehand, backhand. Puck still in the defensive zone, but he's able to feather a backhand pass up to the blue line. Puck still sits there, not out of the zone. The Rinx are able to stay in the offensive end. Rinx still with the puck. Meyerowicz with a heavy hit on his man, takes him out of the play, but not before he makes a pass over the near dot. Dangled on one man, then two. Speaker there to stop that shot, and Bizarro comes away with the puck. Bizarro now still with the puck. Sends that over to the far half wall. Rinx take over there. But Berliner's able to get in the way of that pass. He's got a 2-on-1 developing with Meyerowicz. Now in the offensive end is Berliner. He sends that pass over to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz sends a shot into the goalie's chest there. And unfortunately, no rebound. Looking for that shot rebound pass that worked so well earlier in the game was Meyerowicz. And frozen nicely by the Rinx goaltender with 10:14 left to go here in the third period. It's Rinx 5, Raiders 3. Petrosinelli at the near dot now to take this offensive zone draw. He's got Fauci and Tanoff behind him. Looks like Marchuka and Finkelstein flanking him. Puck's one forward. Finkelstein takes over in the near corner. Now he feathers that over to Marchuka. Marchuka tries a wraparound on the backhand. Almost made it there, but the Rinx are able to keep that out, and now they skate the other way. The Raiders hurry to get back. The Rinx dump that in off the linesman, but still gain the offensive zone. Ooh, heavy hit there. And the Raiders are able to take their men out of the play, and they're going to be able to skate this out of the zone. Pass up to Petrosinelli just behind him, and the Rinx take over in their own end. Petrosinelli looking to send that puck over to Marchuka, who had the stick taken off him, so now Fauci will have to recover in the defensive zone. He's able to send that puck to the near half wall. Still has possession of the puck, do the Raiders, and Finkelstein sends that puck down to Fauci. Fauci now trying to recover at his own end boards. Fauci with the puck, looks to get it on his forehand. Finkelstein in for support. Now Petrosinelli gets close to the pile, try and help out. Puck comes over to the weak side. Meyerowicz fires at the half wall, try and take that puck from reaching the point. Rinx dump it in deeper. Petrosinelli's able to change direction, skate through the neutral zone. Petrosinelli trying to settle a rolling puck. Gets it on the forehand, goes around his man, and takes it to the near offensive corner. Looking to send that puck softly up to the point. He does. Puck comes to Krzyzewski, back down to Petrosinelli, but it hops off his stick, and now the Rinx have possession. They're able to fire that out of the zone and get the change they so desperately need. They also have a partial break for me. Still on the partial break there. No shot in. Krzyzewski with a nice recovery on his man. He's able to prevent any shot from coming in on the stage. Very strong game there for Nate Krzyzewski on tracking back on the back check. In any event, Finkelstein takes the puck through the neutral zone. He's pushed off by his man there, but he's able to gain the offensive zone. Now the Raiders with the puck. Blake Hyder sends one in. Bouncing puck, gloved down by the Rinx goaltender, and we'll get another stoppage in play. Looks like 8:34 left to go here in the third period. Even game, back and forth. Shots 24 for the Raiders, 21 for the Rinx. It's going to be an offensive zone draw here for the Raiders. Vigliotti will be at the near dot. He's got Samosi and Kalemba out there with him. Steinfink and Gossler is defensive pairing. Vigliotti wins that over to Samosi. Samosi sends it back to Vigliotti. Vigliotti sends it weak side. Gossler on the backhand sends a soft shot in. Looking again for a rebound there are the Raiders. The Rinx goaltender just able to gobble that one up and freeze the play. Another offensive zone draw coming up here for the Raiders. Same lines out there. Vigliotti will look to win this on the backhand. Back to Steinfink. Puck sits at the dot after the drop. Still sitting there. The Rinx are able to push that up, but not past Steinfink with a nice long stick. Keeps his own. Samosi in the slot. Tries to send a low shot in. He does, but it's saved nicely by the Rinx goaltender. Now Samosi sends that over to the weak side around the boards. Puck chopped out there by the Rinx, but not out of the zone. Vigliotti sends one in. Samosi almost with a redirect in the mid-slot on goal. Now Gossler at the point. Pinches in to try and keep the puck. Rinx beat him to it, and Vigliotti covering for his defender, takes the puck in the offensive zone. But we're going to get a call here on the Raiders. It's going to be a rough as they touch up. And it'll be Gossler going to the box for 2 minutes for roughing with 7:54 left to go here in the third period. It's going to be a defensive zone draw for the Raiders. The speaker's right. Now, looks like Meyerowicz will take this draw. He's got Tanoff and Bizarro out there with him. And it looks like Fauci as well. Rinx win that draw. Puck comes in on Speaker. He sticks that to the far corner. And now the Raiders try and pump it out of the zone. They're able to get that bouncing puck out of the zone, and the Rinx will have to recoil in their own end. Bizarro in on the forecheck to try and take time off the board here for the penalty kill. Rinx come in. They send a high shot in on Speaker. He blockers that aside. And Tanoff now with the puck. Tries to pump that out of the zone. Meyerowicz in for support too. Instead, the Rinx get it on the forehand. Now they're at the near blue line, near point. Russo sends a shot in on Speaker. Speaker has that in the equipment. He just covers up there, and we'll get a freeze with just over 7 minutes left to go here in the third period and 1:25 left to go on the penalty kill for the Raiders. It'll be a face-off coming just to Speaker's left. The Raiders do, though, get a nice line change out of that. So they'll be happy to get some fresh skaters on the ice. Berliner now out there with Petrosinelli as a forward. Berliner keeps that face-off win at the dot momentarily. Tanoff sends it around weak side. Rinx take over there. Fauci now trying to cover his man. His man winds around, sends a shot in on goal. Speaker's able to kick that aside. And now Petrosinelli takes over. He gets that puck all the way up to the point, but not out. Rinx again fire in on Speaker. That shot goes wide. And the Rinx pour in to try and recover possession. They send that puck to the end boards. They're cycling well now. Puck comes out to the slot. Nobody home. Tanoff now shepherds that puck to the half wall. And he's able to deflect that out of the zone. The heavy pass off the boards. Rinx will have to recoil. They do. Rinx taken off the play, though. And Tanoff now with the puck in the neutral zone. It's Petrosinelli who took his man off the puck, and the Rinx will recoil in their own defensive end. Tanoff now pinches in on the penalty kill. Try and keep that puck in the offensive end. Tanoff takes a heavy hit, but he's able to take that puck and send it all the way to the end boards. Raiders now waiting for the Rinx to break out. Rinx are skating this puck out of the zone, but they're harassed there by Berliner. Now Petrosinelli goes to cover his man. Tanoff recovers the puck in the defensive end. He's able to get that out of the defensive zone again. Berliner looking to pick up the puck in the neutral zone. He's taken out of the play. Petrosinelli comes in. Berliner still fighting for the puck here along the boards. Berliner has the puck. He's able to get that puck in the offensive zone and dance around to hit. Tries to send the puck to himself. 5 seconds left to go here on the kill. A nice kill by the Raiders. And now Fauci pours in. He's able to force a bad pass, and the Raiders take over in the neutral zone. Tanoff with the puck. He banks that up through the neutral zone, takes a weird carom off the glass, though, and the Rinx come away with it. They go point to point. Rinx happy to see out the last 6 minutes of this game, just passing the puck around if they can with their 2-goal lead. Rinx send that up through the neutral zone. Puck comes all the way to Finkelstein. Finkelstein goes over to Fauci at the point in his own end. Rinx come away within the neutral zone momentarily. Marchuka tries to get the puck off his man. Finkelstein dumps it in to the offensive end, but the Rinx come away with it. They're through the neutral zone now, or the Rinx. Rinx dodge one hit, and they look for a slot pass. Puck comes over to Speaker, escapes his glove wide of the cage, and Marchuka will pick it up in the far corner. Marchuka looks to take his man off the puck. Instead, pass comes in through the crease. Speaker sticks that over to the near dot. Now the Raiders pour the other way. It's a 3-on-2. They've got to hurry through the Raiders. Good stick there. Keeps Marchuka from getting a shot on goal. That was a back check by the Raiders. Now the shot comes in. It's kicked aside by the Rinx goaltender, and the Rinx come the other way. Over 4 minutes left to go now. Rinx come in. They're in the slot. Speaker's able to glove that, and we'll get a whistle as the Rinx man fires in. We'll get a stoppage in play with 4:47 left to go here in the third period. It's still Rinx 5, Raiders 3. Defensive zone draw to Speaker's left. Upcoming, it'll be Samosi, Vigliotti, and Kalemba out there as the forwards. And it looks like Steinfink and Gossler as the defenders. Vigliotti wins that over to the half wall. The Raiders push up to try and take the puck at the blue line. Instead, the Rinx dump it in. Gossler takes his man out of the play with a heavy hit. Puck sits at the end boards. Gossler working that over to Steinfink, who takes it on the forehand. Now Samosi tries to corral that puck, just escapes his grasp. Kalemba gets in the way of, that's Steinfink, getting in the way of that pass. The puck comes to Samosi. Samosi looks for Vigliotti. Vigliotti now has the puck in the neutral zone. He's able to skate that in the offensive zone. He looks to pass that to the slot. Nobody home, though, and the Rinx take over. Rinx now send that weak side. They're looking to try and break the other way on the counterattack. Instead, the Raiders get in the way. Samosi gains what looks like the red line and sends that puck in. 4 minutes left to play here as Vigliotti's in on the forecheck. Vigliotti still with the puck, trying to get that puck up to the point. Bouncing puck hits Gossler's stick at the blue line, and the Rinx try and break the other way. Gossler now takes the puck off his man with a nice back check momentarily. The Rinx are still able to gain the offensive zone. Samosi now covers. Gets the puck at the end boards. Samosi reverses over to Vigliotti. Vigliotti at the near half wall here. Now skates the puck out of his zone. Puck gets caught in his skates, but he's able to make the pass up to Kalemba momentarily. Puck chopped there at the blue line. The Raiders are making a change behind the play. Raiders get dangled there. Shot comes in. Goes well wide of the cage, though, and the Rinx recover in the near corner. Rinx still in the offensive zone, looking to get the puck up to the point. Instead, it's gummed up there momentarily by the Raiders. Puck still in the neutral zone. We're now just over 3 minutes to play. 3:19 left to go, but we're going to get a call here, looks like, on the Raiders for tripping. It'll be Vigliotti to the box with 3:20 left to go here for a trip in the neutral zone. The Raiders will need to both kill this penalty and score 2 goals in the last 200 seconds of this game. Now it's Berliner, Fauci, Tanoff, and Bizarro out as the 4 skaters. Now Bizarro picks up the puck in his defensive end. He's able to skate it out of the zone. He's through the neutral zone. He's being back-checked heavily there. He tries to go through the legs of one man. The puck is gummed up. Tanoff's able to keep the puck in the zone. Tanoff sends that puck in deeper to Bizarro. Raiders don't look down a man right now as they put the heavy forecheck on. Rinx are able to get that puck out of their zone through the neutral zone. They've got a 3-on-2 going the other way. Berliner now back in support. Tanoff tries to lift the stick of his man. The Rinx have the puck. They send it to the slot. No one there. And now they send something in on Speaker, but it's blocked nicely by Fauci. Fauci takes his man out of the play and then takes a shot to the back as a thank you. Rinx come away with it at the far dot. Unable to get a shot on goal as both Berliner and Tanoff get in the way. Tanoff now tries to recover the puck in his own end. Puck bounces there momentarily. Still there, and Tanoff's able to backhand that puck out of the zone. 1:07 left to go on the kill. 2:22 left to go in the game. Rinx will recover in their own end. They're happy to keep possession and just keep this away from their goal mouth. Rinx now reverse up on the far side. Marchuka fires in and try and collect the puck. He does beat his man to it, but the puck hits his man and comes out of the zone. Not much you can do there to keep the puck in the zone. Shot comes in on Speaker. He gloves that down wide of the cage, And the Rinx recover. They're at the far dot now. The far point. Now they're at the far dot. They're in, looking for that slot pass to Speaker. Fauci works well to keep that puck out. Now Marchuka with speed through the neutral zone. Marchuka now has the puck on his forehand. Settles down the puck. Has to take a bad angle shot there. And Meyerowicz will go to recover here at the near point. Meyerowicz tries to send that puck in deeper. He's got Koslewski out there with him. Tries to get that puck in farther. Instead, the Rinx come away with it. 17 seconds left to go here on the kill. The Rinx break the other way. Koslewski right in the middle in the slot. Koslewski blocks that shot. Does not get it through onto net. Do the Rinx. And the Rinx are able to keep the offensive zone, though. Marchuka gently shepherds that puck up to the blue line, but not out just yet. Rinx still have possession. They send it up to the dot. Again, Marchuka, right place to try and get that puck out. He nearly does. He breaks up the shot, though, that was coming from the point. Good play by him as the Raiders now come the other way. Raiders into the offensive end. Raiders still in the offensive end. Meyerowicz gains the zone. We're back to 5-on-5 skating, but we're under a minute to go now in this game. Speaker pulled from the net. The Raiders have an empty net. Hyder sends a shot in on goal. Raiders have 6 skaters out there. The Rinx are happy to pump this up out of their zone, but only so far as the blue line. Now Meyerowicz has the puck on his forehand. He tries to send a pass over to Finkelstein, just a bit too far. 40 seconds left to go here as the Raiders keep their 6 skaters out there. Rinx unable to get that out of the zone. Marchuka with a nice keep at the near point. Marchuka pumps that in farther. Finkelstein goes to recover. Steinfink now at the far point has the puck. He can only send that in deeper. Rinx still have the puck in their own end. They're able to get it past the blue line, but no farther than Gossler. Gossler now looks for Marchuka. Marchuka takes that pass, breaks in the offensive zone. He's on the forehand. He goes high on the goalie, who blockers that down. Meyerowicz recovers the rebound. We're under 12 seconds left to go here. 10 seconds. Puck now in the crease. Raiders desperately trying to put something in. Puck comes up to the near point. 5 seconds left to go. Gossler with a wonderful shot from the near point. Saved nicely by the Rinx goaltender, and that's going to do it for the game here as the Rinx will take this one. 5-3 over the New York City Raiders. This exhibition match out in Hauppauge, New York. As we end, it's Rinx 5, Raiders 3. Tune in tomorrow, everyone, as the Raiders will take on the Long Island Kings at World Ice Arena at 6 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for tuning into this one. And until we see you tomorrow, stay safe.